Barry Hall is a well-known AFL legend whose actions on and off the field have provided him with a strong fan base well beyond his time as a player. As a young boy and a Western Bulldogs fan, I was excited when it was announced that Hall would be joining the team for the 2010 season. The opportunity to select Barry Hall as a sports participant and reflect on his journey and progression through the sports system towards his elite status was one that I did not want to miss. Barry Hall's autobiography, Pulling No Punches, published in 2011, follows his story from his time as a junior through to his elite success and all the controversial incidences between. Sports delivery systems are structured and applied to develop athletes from grassroots level to high performance teams. The Australian Sports Commission provides national sports agencies with the access to services and resources such as funding, policy development, management models, education, emerging information technologies, and evaluation frameworks. The dual concepts of participation and elite pathways for athletes, coaches, officials, and administrators lies at the heart of sports effective planning processes. Sports delivery systems not only provide optimal opportunities for all athletes, but provide national sporting organisations with an equal opportunity to find and provide assistance to potential international athletes. The AFL is responsible for the delivery and governance of the sport within Australia and utilises their sports delivery system to increase participation, develop youth and identify talent. Examining and understanding the sports delivery system provides stakeholders with a guideline for progression within the sport and knowledge of what resources and services are accessible to them. My analysis of Barry Hall's career as an AFL player begins with an overview of sport delivery systems before looking at the competitions he was involved in, the parts of the systems that enhance his development. Barry Hall is considered to be one of the greatest AFL forwards of the modern era. His ability to kick goals and lead his team took him to the peak of AFL with numerous accolades to represent his consistent performance and many achievements. Hall began his football journey in his hometown Bradford before moving to Melbourne at the age of 12 to pursue a career in boxing. By 15, Hall had fought in 15 fights and had a state title under his belt. Hall's family were fanatical AFL supporters, and despite his early success as a boxer, the pressure from his parents inevitably influenced him to turn to AFL. Barry Hall competed in an abundance of major AFL competitions at different levels throughout his junior and professional career. He won the under-18s competition at junior level with his club Avenel and was scouted by the Murray Bushrangers at state level team. Hall made his AFL debut with St Kilda in 1996 and spent 5 years at the club. During this time, he won the McClelland Trophy and was the team's leading goal scorer in 1999 and 2001. Hall moved on to the Sydney Swans in 2002 and spent a further 7 years with the team. During this time, he was the leading goal scorer in every season and was named the best and fairest in 2004. Hall's career reached its peak in 2004 when he was named in the All-Australian team. In 2005, Hall was named the captain of the Swans and led them to their AFL Grand Final victory. Hall moved on to the Western Bulldogs for his last season in 2010 and was again the leading goal scorer at the club. Over the course of his career, Hall received 92 Brownlow Medal nominations and kicked 746 goals, which placed him 14th on the all-time goal-kicking list, with most recently in 2017 being inducted into the AFL Hall of Fame. The format of these major competitions that the AFL used while Barry Hall was playing, and still used to this day, is a round-robin system, where every team plays each other a minimum of one time over the course of 23 rounds, with some teams playing each other twice. Due to the competition size, not all teams get to play each other twice. The final system that was in place when Barry Hall first won a premiership with the Sydney Swans is the same as it is today. The top 8 teams with the most points throughout the 23 round-robin system move into the AFL Final Series. The bottom half of the top 8, positions 5, 6, 7 and 8, play in the first elimination final, giving the top half positions 1, 2, 3 and 4 a second chance in their first qualifying final, giving the top half of the table a more advantageous road to the grand final. The second week of finals is the 2 losers of the top 4 bracketed teams versus the 2 winners in the lower 4 bracketed teams. The winners of that go through to the semi-finals, and the winners of that through to the grand final to crown an overall winner. The AFL has a well-structured categorisation and development pathway for players. the first step being the fundamental stage, where focus is surrounded on junior participation and learning fundamental skills of the game. For Barry, this occurred at his local club Avignon. The next stage, the sampling stage, is focused on advancing and growing players' physical capabilities so that they are ready for the identification stage, where focus is on talent, development and state selection. Barry's growth as a player was influenced by his coach, Paul Cleary. His performance at Avignon led to his coach notifying state scouts of his capabilities. From here, players move into the specialising stage, which is where players look to be drafted into the AFL, as Barry Hall did in 1995 for St Kilda. Stage 5 is the investment stage. This is when focus shifts to developing higher level skills and using resources to do so. During this time, Barry was able to advance his skills at St Kilda and led to many of his achievements at the club. The next stage for players is the maintenance stage, where programs are designed to maintain and maximise performance. The Sydney Swans provided Barry with this training so that he could enjoy a lengthy career at the top level. The final stage for a player is the retirement and transition stage, where the AFL provides players with the means for transitioning into their roles beyond their careers. The media has played a crucial role in his off-field success, with many companies using his status to promote their brand. Throughout Barry's career, he endured a number of controversial incidents that led to a number of tribunals and match bans. However, Barry considered these negative career moments to be a learning curve and a time for growth as a player. Unfortunately, an off-field incident in 2008 led to one of Barry's sponsorship deals falling through due to negative reputation it had created at the time. Barry Hall's autobiography was enlightening and well written. His description of his journey from grassroots level to elite status demonstrated that he had understood the AFL sports delivery system, and he was able to identify crucial moments in his career that led to his overall success. Before my analysis of Barry Hall's career, I already knew how influential organisations such as AFL can be in the development and success of players. My analysis of Barry Hall's progression and journey as an AFL player has highlighted the importance of national sporting organisations having a clear pathway for players, and I was surprised that players at rural teams such as Avignon have the opportunity and exposure that can get them to the elite level. The current AFL system is highly effective, which is continuously demonstrated by the success of the competition both financially and in terms of supporter base, as it is one of Australia's most followed sports. Barry Hall is an excellent example of how someone can go from grassroots to elite level. The delivery system implemented by the AFL has allowed for the development of athletes such as Hall and allowed for the overall growth of the game.